Hi. Isn't it awesome to be here today? Like, seriously. And it's just not just awesome, but it's amazing to be with all of you people because we truly are stronger together, aren't we? Right? Does anybody second that? Right? We are. So make sure here we go. So, my name is Elizabeth Perez. I'm a Navy veteran, and Navy, woo. My dad was actually Army, and I'll get to that, but he told me to go Navy. It's just a little military joke there. I'm also a veteran entrepreneur in the clean tech industry, and I've been an entrepreneur for about 8 years. And I'm here today to talk to you about equity and inclusion and veterans and clean energy. I wanted to begin with this quote from Erica Mackey. Those of you that are familiar with grid alternatives, you know, there's a lot of things we're addressing these days, right? And especially as veterans, when we come back, we understand how climate change is connected to our energy national security. And along with that, because of my background, I also understood how we can weave in diversity in terms of the workforce and also the supply chain. And as you all know, you hear it in the news, and it's evident when you go out to the streets, there's an absolute gap between poverty and what I call the stupid rich. So, what is equity? And actually, I've never heard of equity until about a year and a half ago. Equity, to me, was like everything else, diversity. That's really what it means. That's what it means within the state of California and what they were addressing with the RFP, request for proposal. And this is a state definition. California's clean energy transformation includes a strong focus on equity to ensure benefits are realized by all Californians, especially those in the most vulnerable communities. For me, equity meant that, hey, this is easy. I've already been doing this as a business owner. If this is a requirement for a state contract that I can be a part of, the state is saying, look, you must include a diverse workforce and supply chain to be a part of a $5 million contract. I love that because as a business owner, that was my foot in the door in creating my veteran-owned business. Before I begin to tell you a little bit more about veterans and clean energy, I think it's important to tell my story and how I actually ended up joining the military and just my journey in general. I just think as a veteran that has deployed in different regions, it's almost my duty, it is my duty to tell this story and why it resonates with me today. I mean, my voice gets shaky because it gets me right here. It's in my gut. And a lot of those feelings and that experience is there. So I come from a military family, both on my dad's side and my mother's side. My mom always said, "You're special. You're my special kid." I never really understood, like, I'm really not that special. I didn't really understand my background. I just knew I was different because of my last name. My dad, he was born in Mexico, came to the U.S. when he was 6, joined the military, and he said, we came to America for more opportunity. My mother, she's from Norfolk Rancheria. I'm Mono Indian. And I was raised mostly by my grandmother and my mother, so a lot of where I followed was more on the native path. And I'll tell you, sometimes it's good and bad. Along with that came a lot of those statistics you hear about Native Americans and also first-generation Mexican Americans. And I was literally born into generational poverty and what I call compounded interest poverty, because it is generational. And our way out was the military, but also for veterans and my family, it was something of honor and something that you did. Part of that was those experiences. It could be good or bad. My experience when I joined from 97 and I got out in 2006, I was deployed immediately. And I joined during peacetime. During that time, I met Seaman Palmer, also from California, actually from San Diego. And we pretty much, stuck around because we were two Californians away from home in very cold, Great Mistakes boot camp. And then also we went on to A school and we just became friends. And then our orders came and it was so long and we kept in touch. And you're talking 2000, we didn't have the smartphones then. I just knew as time went on, the USS Cole had gotten bombed. What I didn't realize, one of those sailors that died on the Cole was my friend. And to me, that's when war became a reality, and that's when I became an adult overnight. And it was real. And then things kept going from there. There were things that we did as in the military I didn't agree with, and particularly the Iraq invasion. And I gotta tell you, I was in charge of a lot of money, a lot of fuel, and I had to question myself, look, what's going on here? The USS Cole got bombed off the coast of Yemen while it was refueling. A lot of our procedures, we were running our offices, our portable offices, and basically cooling the desert. There was so much waste, and military members were dying trying to convoying that the oil over so we can run those generators. We just weren't doing things smartly. Another reason, my dad served in the first Gulf War. Here I was, found myself in the second one, and I had a gut check. And that gut check was the reality of why we were truly there. And it's because, well, we're a thirsty oil country. And that's really what resonated with me, and it didn't feel right. And as a Native American, what also didn't feel right, and it came from a Native American perspective, is what we were doing in Iraq definitely followed the stories that my grandmother told me. Native Americans going in and taking our land, our treaties, those treaties that were signed, and just out of no respect, saying, look, water resources, oil resources, natural gas resources, forget the treaty, this is what we want. Hashtag Standing Rock. So, we have all those problems. I can complain all day long. I can say there's problems. Anybody can. What leaders do, they come up with solutions. Part of those solutions is knowing, look, there's ways to get around this. There's something I can do to be a part of the solution. And that's grid modernization, that's resistance, energy resistance, resilience, also driving technology and putting yourself in a decision maker role. And when you're the boss, you can do anything, good or bad. Part of that is including a diverse workforce. That diverse workforce is a veteran workforce for me, and also growing up in that diverse background, if you will, I understood a lot of those who wore the uniform, and I came from an enlisted side, were a majority minority. And I wanted to particularly target the disadvantaged communities, DAC, they use all these acronyms just like the military, DAC. And what I'm showing you here is my business model. This is something that was put together 8 years ago, but I didn't have the word equity. It had diverse. And I understood I needed to include that. And in the middle there is our company logo. I understood it takes everyone to get things moving forward. And holistically, everything's connected. And we understand that as natives. So innovation, technology, the finance piece is still a struggle for a lot of small businesses. And energy, national security. As veterans, we need to tell our stories. We need to understand addressing our nation's energy security is vital for our future, and also including equity, and inclusion as part of that. The economic benefits are, well, look, the state of California, we have the highest number of veterans that served. Right here in San Francisco is number 2 in the nation of veterans. LA, number 1. San Diego, number 3. The economic benefits are, and I'm sure you've heard, there's a lot of tragedy going around with veterans that have served. Veteran ownership, we're 20% more likely to start a business. And from 2007 to 2012, over 100,000 businesses were started in the heart of the recession. Grit. California leadership, that's you. That's all of us here. Yes, there's Sacramento too. There's lawmakers, there's politicians, but it's really the entrepreneurs that are the drivers. And absolutely, we're the risk takers. Veterans, good or bad, we're risk takers. And we definitely have that in us, the drive. So I want to thank you for allowing me to speak today and talk to you. And this talk, whatever it is here today, I just want to dedicate to Seaman Palmer. She's not here today, and I didn't mention my dad passed away too at 36. So this is an honor of all those that have served and all of those who are not here able to push this message forward. Thank you.